Boom is perfect. Actually, I would boom it from the other side. Yeah. Excuse me. That's good. Okay, and we are rolling.
Okay. We'll start by having you say your name.
My name is Carroll
You can
Provost.
talk right to me.
You have to talk a little.
Oh, sorry. Say your complete name.
Carroll O. Provost.
Okay, and your 10th Division unit information?
I was in the 86th Regiment, 1st Platoon, 3rd Battalion.
Company L.
Company L, yes.
And the highest rank?
Sergeant.
And what were the dates that you were in the 10th Mountain Division?
It was early December of 44 was when I went up. It was, I really don't,
December 43?
December 43. I know it was snow on the ground up there.
And how about your serial number?
31, 35, 39, 92. I've always remembered that.
Okay,
About the only thing.
that's funny. How did you come to serve in the 10th Mountain Division?
I transferred from Texas. I was in the tank destroyer. I served my basic training in tank destroyer outfit in Texas. And apparently the problem they had in the African campaign actually was winding down, so they didn't need tank destroyers. So the only place I could go was either the ski troopers, which we told was, and the other thing was the paratroopers, and I chose the ski troopers, liking skiing myself anyways. But
Do you have any memorable recollections about boot camp at Camp Hale?
I have a lot of memories of Camp Hale, yeah. Primarily freezing to death all winter. We bivouacked for 6 weeks in the snow up in the mountains, didn't we? And no barracks, no nothing. I guess we did have those little mountain tents, and we had excellent sleeping bags. And so we spent, I believe it was 6 weeks in training. And no, that's about what I remember. It was a great bunch of guys. I remember. I was fascinated by the rucksacks because I knew they had mules, and I thought the rucksacks fitted a mule, but we were told they fitted us. So
Did you feel like you were the mule?
I felt that I was in the wrong outfit because it really was a heavy rucksack, and if it was filled completely, then it could have been 80-pound, because they had the song about 80-pound rucksack and a pound of grub or two or something like that. It was an Army song. But I don't know what else to tell
You
you.
fell down with a rucksack on? Was it hard to get up?
If you were on skis, I will say it was. You usually had to roll over, have somebody help you up, because you go back in the snow and you're tied to your skis, so it's hard to get. it was hard to get up.
When you think back about your training and your war experiences, can you relay some memorable experience related to either the training or the war?
No, there was no memorable experience, except, you mean, during the war. No, it was a frightening experience. And you see a lot of the kids that got hurt or got killed. You know, it's not a nice memory either. But no, I have no. There's a lot of episodes that I don't like to think about. And I've seen a kid's face disappear from, and I've seen what mortar rounds can do to a kid, and these were friends, I just don't like to think about it too much.
What was different about the 10th?
What was different? I don't know. I think the 10th was a nicer bunch of guys. I really do. They were a nice bunch of guys. I don't know what else I could say. It's I did have a lot of friends up there, and some of them were killed, and of course after that I've met quite a few recently that I didn't remember, but with some of the old photographs and the names, I had an album, and I just had a platoon photograph, and I had them all sign it, So that's how I learned a lot of the guys, including Stuart Abbott, and he was in my platoon, and I have his picture, and the only thing I know about Stuart, because he was younger than I, and he was more Bob's friend, his age, But one time that I have another picture of him at home, but it's more like a silhouette because the light wasn't too good. But I had to practice climbing and rappelling and falling, and if you have to practice falling, it's not the nicest thing because you don't know whether you should trust the guy that's going to belay you or not. But I did with Stuart. Stuart was a tall kid, and he was heavier than I too, so I didn't think it was fair that I had to catch him. But we got along fine, and everything worked great. And we belayed each other, and we practiced rappelling together. So we spent that whole day. But that's primarily all I knew about Stuart, except seeing him around in our platoon. But I really don't know enough about Stuart to, except that he was a real nice kid.
When you think about what the 10th Mountain contributed to the war effort, what do you think the 10th Mountain contributed?
Well, I don't know. I assume they contributed as much as any other outfit. And I think they were a hardened bunch of kids, too. But as to say they did more than some other division, I don't know. I think we had a tougher landscape, and I think we had tougher weather, and I think we were trained tougher in the mountains in the middle of the winter, so I think we were we were right up there as good as any outfit.
What kept you going in the most difficult of times?
Fear and anger. You know, fear keeps you going, and anger when you see one of your friends hurt or killed. And that, you know, that starts the juices flowing, and you know, normally you wouldn't do things that, you know, normally you wouldn't do the things that you do when you're under stress like that. It's a tough life. It's a tough life.
Were you ever injured?
Yes, I had a minor injury that kept me out for, I believe it was 3 weeks. Then I had to rejoin the company. And I thought, luckily the wall was winding down, and that was, then we went up through Lake Garda and up through there, and then shortly after that, the Germans surrendered, and we were sent home. And I believe we were sent home. We were told we were sent home immediately because we were supposed to go to Japan. But fortunately, the Germans gave up, and fortunately, the atomic bomb, I think, is what saved us. Because I think it was going to be brutal in Japan, because they were tough. But because we were a mountain outfit, we were supposed to go in the mountains of Japan, which I guess was just as bad as the mountains in Italy.
What do you think led to this shared sense of identity among the closeness? What do you contribute the closeness to among all the 10th Mountain vets?
I don't know. I think the cold and the training that we had, I think that they were a closer knit outfit than some of the other outfits. And we went through a lot because up in the mountains we had double rations, and we needed them too. But I don't know. It could be that it was a better bunch of guys, or it could be just that we got along better together. It was. I can't tell you much more than that.
Do you think that, even though it was a relatively short period of time that you all served in the tent, that it accounts for a rather extraordinary influence or impact on your lives?
No, I don't. No, I don't really know what you mean, but
The amount of time some of you spent was less than 2 years or less than 3 years, but it influenced, would you say it influenced your life?
well, I will say this: I never knew whether I was a coward or a hero, and I found out I was neither. I found out that when you're under stress, you deal with it. But I wasn't a hero, because I don't think there really are heroes. I think there's lucky and unlucky guys, and some do more than others. But I felt I did what I was asked, and since then I've forgotten most everything that I knew. But I wasn't ashamed of what I've done, and I can't tell you any more than that.
Is there anything else you want to tell us?
Tell about the story with the scorpion when you were in Texas. That's a fun story.
Oh, well, That's not a story. That
Or about the one where you were in the building when the tank drove by. That's also good.
when the what?
When the tank drove by and shot.
Oh, that was up above Lake Garda.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Yeah, I'd like
no.
to hear about that.
No, there was nothing to that. We were just stationed in one of those buildings after we went past Lake Garda. And it was pitch dark, and then we could hear a German tank rattling up the street, and then it stopped in front of the house we were in, and then you could hear the turret squeaking around, and all of a sudden, boom! They fired around right into the building that we were in, and luckily we was a whole squad in there. Luckily, none of us got hurt. We were all looking for blood in case we could get another Purple Heart. But no one was hurt, so there was no damage done. But that's just one of the foolish incidents.
Or like when you were repelling out hotel windows. That's a funny thing when you're training.
No, I wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody who did?
You and your friends.
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay, well, how about if we don't name names?
No,
Have you heard of anybody rappelling out of hotel windows?
I've heard of some that did. We used to go down to Denver from Camp Hale, and you'd rent a room and go up in the room, and then while they were leaving, they were, they'd bring a coil of rope and rappel out of the window, so they didn't have to pay the bill. But that was after a few drinks, But I wasn't involved in that. I wasn't that kind of a guy. I didn't drink that much. I can't tell you much more. I think that's about all you think.
Yeah.
Good.
We're rolling.